Every luxury website I design has one thing in common, and most entrepreneurs have never even thought about it. If you opened 10 of my client websites side by side, you'd probably feel it immediately. They just look expensive, not because of the colors, not because of some trendy layout, and not because we added flashy design tricks. There's one specific design decision behind it. And once you see it, you'll start noticing it on every high-end website on the internet. Most entrepreneurs think luxury websites come from adding more graphics, more animations, more sections, more things fighting for attention. But the brands charging premium prices are actually doing the opposite. And today, I'm gonna show you the one design principle that instantly makes a website look expensive. If you care about building a brand that actually feels premium, not just pretty, hit like on this video and let's get into it. If you're new here, I'm Mariah, award-winning luxury brand designer and business coach. I help women build high-ticket coaching and consulting businesses with elegant, strategic brands that attract premium clients without competing on volume. On this channel, we talk about luxury branding, high-ticket positioning, and the psychology behind brands that command authority. So subscribe if you care about building a brand that feels elevated, intentional, and unmistakably premium. Now, let's talk about why luxury websites actually feel expensive. The reason luxury websites feel expensive. Most entrepreneurs assume luxury website design comes down to aesthetics. They assume it's about choosing better fonts, better colors, or more sophisticated photography. And while those elements absolutely matter, they're not the real reason a website feels expensive. The real difference is far more strategic. Luxury websites are designed around user psychology. Instead of simply decorating a page, the design intentionally guides the visitor through a clear journey. Every section on the page exists for a reason, and each piece of content moves the user closer to a decision. The site leads the visitor from curiosity to clarity and ultimately toward action. So when someone lands on a truly well-designed luxury website, the experience feels effortless. The design feels calm, intentional, and refined because nothing unnecessary is competing for attention. And that sense of clarity is what people subconsciously interpret as luxury. Why most luxury websites actually look cheap. Now, here's where many entrepreneurs unintentionally undermine their own brand. They try to create a luxury look by adding what I call luxury tropes. Things like gold accents, champagne imagery, glitter texture, or flashy animations that are meant to signal success. Ironically, those elements usually have the opposite effect. They make a brand look cheaper. True luxury doesn't shout for attention. It communicates confidence through restraint. When you look at brands like Chanel or Apple, their websites feel composed and deliberate. The layout is clean, the typography is refined, and the experience feels calm rather than chaotic. That restraint is what signals authority. But there's an even more subtle mistake I see frequently. Some entrepreneurs have a natural instinct for luxury, so they choose a template that visually looks high-end. The typography might be beautiful and the layout might feel modern, but the strategy behind the page is missing. So the site looks expensive on the surface, yet it fails to convert. Because design without strategy is simply decoration. If you've ever landed on a website that looked beautiful, but still left you wondering what the business actually does, comment journey. That confusion is almost always the result of a site being designed for aesthetics rather than for the user experience. The problem I see on every DIY website. This is something we constantly see inside my agency. Clients often come to us with websites they built themselves or assembled from templates. At first glance, the design might not look terrible, but the moment you begin navigating the site, the real problem becomes obvious. The homepage fails to answer three essential questions. First, what exactly does this business do? Second, who is it designed to serve? And third, what action should the visitor take next? When those answers are unclear, the website stops working as a strategic tool. Your website is not just a digital placeholder on the internet. It's an environment that helps your potential client make a decision. If the visitor has to work to understand the offer, they simply leave. Luxury websites remove that friction entirely. They guide the visitor smoothly from interest to trust and then toward the next step. The one change that instantly elevates your website. So if you take one idea from this video and apply it today, here's what I want you to do. Open your website and look at it from the perspective of your dream client, rather than from the perspective of the business owner. Then ask yourself three questions. Do I immediately understand what this business does? Do I understand why I might need this service? And do I clearly see what the next step should be? If any of those answers are unclear, the problem isn't your colors, it isn't your fonts. The problem is that your website isn't guiding the visitor through a clear journey. And clarity, not decoration, is what ultimately creates a premium experience. If this conversation is resonating with you, this is exactly the type of transformation we go over on a luxury brand audit. Most women are not struggling to attract high-ticket clients because they lack expertise. The real issue is that their brand and often their website doesn't communicate their value clearly enough. Inside a brand audit, I'll uncover gaps in your positioning, your messaging, and your client journey, so you can build a brand that naturally supports premium pricing instead. The audit is complimentary. You'll find the link below. Now, go watch this video right here where I break down 7 premium luxury website design trends that instantly elevate your site. Watch that next because it shows you the visual design layer that sits on top of the strategy we just talked about today. I'll see you over in that video.